Let's start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold on, I'm gonna find out who's calling to us.
Do I have to unmute myself now?
Nope, get on your microphone and you'll be fine. That microphone.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's go to number 2, open public forum. Anybody wishing to speak that's not on the agenda? Otherwise, we'll move on to number 3, approval of the agenda. I need a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
Doug makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Consent agenda, recommendation to approve the consent agenda as presented. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Shannon makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconds it. Any discussion? Jamie
Sorry.
seconds it. Sorry. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Blue Heron Heights, 4th edition preliminary and final plat, ARC Land LLC. Craig Hiltner.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor
Hello.
and Council. I'm here, Craig Hiltner, tonight as part of ARC Land, and we are asking for preliminary and final approval of our Blue Heron Heights 4th edition, which we have reviewed extensively with the city, and everything's been going really well. Bridget's been helping along with working with Brian and getting our engineering completed, and I think we have all our easements in place that are necessary, and we feel like we are ready to move forward. So I'm here to answer any questions. Otherwise, we ask for approval.
Okay, I'll read a recommendation. To approve resolution number 2020-42, a resolution approving of the final plat of Blue Heron Heights 4th edition. I need a motion on that. Gary makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on this? Go ahead,
I was
Sharon.
gonna say, there's still gonna be discussion about possibly, a way for traffic to be further directed out.
I have not heard back yet from Woodland Hills homeowners yet. I sent them that letter requesting a discussion. I have not received anything back. And so I did look into our easement that we have with the Hessies and several people. So between First Street South, where those river houses are, and Hummingbird, and then First Street that's in Blue Heron Heights, we have a 66 wide easement there. So for road and utilities, and so there is a way to take First Street South and head north to connect it to that corner where Hummingbird, where the Hessies have that event center.
On the west side of the
Yes. Yeah.
mobile home park.
Yep. So, right now, there isn't a way to get out while this construction's happening, but
Right.
there is an option, and I'm waiting to hear from Woodland
For
Homes.
potential future option.
Yep. Yep.
Now, is that going to be a cul-de-sac, right?
Yes, you have.
Is that this here?
Yeah, on the preliminary,
dotted
you see
line
it.
is okay, there is going to be one there.
Yep.
Correct. It would be similar to the end of Rookery right now.
Okay,
We would just be
Okay.
creating a similar thing. And if the homeowners association in Woodland Hills does come forward by the time we're done building the road, we would be open to constructing that connection there.
okay.
We would definitely be on board for that if that comes up. Might be a long shot, but if it does, we'd be definitely willing to include that in our project.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion on it?
There's some things I want to let you know, especially for the two members who were in last week's planning commission meeting, which did recommend approval. Brian was doing the infrastructure and designing it as that meeting was happening, and I believe we did discuss that there might be some easements, like side lot lines to get the water and sewer into where in the storm sewer to where it needs to go. So there are a few changes.
There were 3 lot lines that were widened to get utilities, water, sewer, and storm through. And then we also added a drainage and utility easement on the south side of the south lots as a way, for there'll be a drainage swale through there to get that water out.
And so what that did is it made the buildable space on all the lots a little bit smaller, so the parkland dedication fee went down. So the resolution in front of you has the corrected number for the parkland dedication. It was 21,000, what do I have in here? Originally we had calculated it at 21,199.12, and with those easements, it gets revised to 19,950.28. You don't include drainage and utility easements in the calculation under our ordinance, and so since those expanded, some of the buildable area and of all of the lots kind of got reduced. So the new resolution has the corrected parkland dedication fee. All but like 7 changed their size because of them.
So Craig, you've been involved with these changes?
Yes.
Okay, so you're aware of it?
Yes, multiple emails a day. We've been getting it all straightened out, so it's been going very smooth actually. So Brian's been doing a great job getting it done in a short amount of time, so thank you. We did want to push this through just so we can try to get construction started yet this fall. So our goal is to be breaking ground in September yet on the road, so.
Okay.
Some of these easements, so the water line easements and this drainage easement, Sue Daggy and Dan Crone are both on opposite sides on whether an actual easement document needs to be made since they're on the plat, but I thought for clarity for future owners, we would do an easement for the trail, the temporary easement for the cul-de-sac, and I think there was a third, the snow plowing.
The snow pile area
Yeah.
in the corner there.
Sue's going to draft a document that is an easement with all those on it so that they can be recorded against each lot after the plat is recorded, so future buyers know they have an easement on their property. If they ever wonder why their lot, that trail is actually going to be on some of these lots. So we want that easement before they start selling them. So
Yes.
that'll
So
be
do
coming, and that'll be coming in the next month or so.
And we have our covenants completed, and Bridget has reviewed them, given some comments. We've made some adjustments, and those will be recorded also. When we record the plat, we'll be bringing those to the county.
And they did take the original Blue Heron Heights covenants and
Yes.
then revise them to be more in line with all their covenants that they have on various developments around the county.
We started with the Blue Heron Heights second edition because the third edition never had covenants recorded officially. So we took the second edition covenants and used those, but then we actually made some more restrictive things that we like to see in our developments, typically, that just kind of clean things up a little bit and take away the parking in the driveway so we can eliminate a lot of the neighborhood disputes sometimes with people parking in driveways, campers and boats, and we require those all to be parked next to the garages on a hard surface so they can't be extended out into the driveway. It also protects the sidewalk areas, and it also protects the safety of driving up and down the road in case there's kids out in the yards and stuff. Campers aren't blocking views for people, so we found that to be, and it's just more attractive for the whole neighborhood too. And have a few things in there, probably a little more restrictive than city ordinance on like firewood stacking, just so we don't have big piles of, all things we've run into in other developments that we've done in the past, and fencing, some things like that. So just so the fencing is decorative and isn't homemade, I guess. So all those will be recorded with the plat.
Okay. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say yes.
Aye.
Did you have a motion?
Yeah, we got a motion.
Yes, we did.
Motion and a,
Okay.
Gary and Jamie.
yeah, Gary.
Thank you.
All those against? Motion carries.
I have one clarifying question. On the top of this, it says 4th edition. On the lines down below on the right or on the left, it says Blue Heron Heights 3rd edition, then it says Blue Heron Heights 4th edition. I don't know if that's just a clerical thing or not, but
Sure, Jamie, the overlay that's really light, where on the preliminary plat where it says 3rd edition, that's for the outlot.
Oh,
It
gotcha.
was originally called the outlot of 3rd edition,
okay.
and that'll show up on the preliminary plat, but when it goes to the final plat, then it becomes the 4th edition.
Okay.
Correct.
Perfect.
I hope I explained that correctly
Yep,
for
yep.
Mr. Crone. He might have had a longer answer, but that's kind of the short version. Also, just wanted to let you know that while things are happening out there, don't be afraid to contact us. We're always around. We're going to be hopefully building in town and looking for the next phase somewhere else in a couple of years, if not 2 or 3 years. So if we want to be a presence in the neighborhood or in the community here, so if you guys have any questions, concerns, calls from neighbors, anything, just give us a call directly and we'll address them. We'll make sure that we do what we can. We already have some plans in place to get some signage made for the entrance coming in on Rookery, just for construction vehicles to make sure they slow down and not be in a hurry and just be respectful. So we're going to try to create some of that neighborhood feel so that everybody coming in there knows that we're watching them. So we'll do our best that we can, but if you get complaints, don't be afraid to call and we'll try to take care of them for you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go on to number 6. Blue Heron Heights 4th edition development agreement with ARC Land LLC. Craig Biltner again.
So I think
Okay.
I think this has been discussed too before with Bridget, and we are completely on board with everything that is in that developer agreement. We will be paying for all infrastructure and the park fees and anything else that comes up. We'll be, before we sign the plat, we'll be doing the escrow checks that are required to make sure that everything gets handled. And we have C&L Excavating out of St. Joseph will be the main contractor, and I believe they plan on subcontracting some of the work locally too, so.
Okay.
The only thing we need is the total improvement for the security part.
Yes.
I haven't gotten, and
Yeah.
the date you plan to record. So
Yep.
we have a no later date for the planning recording.
Correct.
Before this can be executed.
Okay, Jason's working on those numbers. I got an email from him over the weekend. He said he should have them in a few days. So I'll get that filled out, sent over to you, and then a date. So,
Yeah.
All right.
And then,
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
there is on there about the assessment in that agreement, the very last paragraph does state that you should decide how much it doesn't say how much of the assessment is being waived, so I did need you to give me that number. Is it gonna be the whole assessment that they have requested? Is it gonna be a different number? That should go in here too, and it provides that we will send the notice to the county upon completion of all the improvements. So I didn't put one in there. I know that at your last discussion, when Mr. Hiltner was here in July, you were in favor of that. This was a way to get the project to actually happen before the waiver is completely, the whole assessment is waived. So if you want to do the whole number, I can put that in there. If you want to do a different number, I think
yes,
the
so,
understanding was the whole number.
correct. Our previous meeting last month, we had asked for a discussion on the entire amount, and there was some agreement on that, but I understand it needs a formal approval. Our request would be the whole amount, and we will wait till the project is complete as far as the roads being completed and approved by the city before that would be waived. So that's our guarantee that we will complete everything to standards.
And I'm not gonna take that verbal agreement away, in my opinion,
No,
so,
it's my understanding it would be 100%.
yes.
Okay.
Do you need a
So,
motion on that?
well, if you're gonna make the motion to approve it, then we would wanna add
Let's add,
that the waiver
The full
will,
amount.
that paragraph 12 will be the full amount
yes.
as, that is currently outstanding.
Okay, I'll read what the recommendation reads right now. To approve the development agreement with ARC Land Incorporated for Blue Heron Heights 4th Edition, and then it would be also waive 100% of assessments.
I'll make that motion.
Jamie makes that motion,
I'll second it.
Doug seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. There you go.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. I do have one more meeting tonight, so I have to bug out, so I just ran out on you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again
Thank
for all your
you.
help. All right, we'll talk soon.
Okay, number 7, Alexander Park proposed rules. Molly. And by the way, if you feel better taking your mask off when you're talking, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, it's you, Molly. That didn't take her long.
All right, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. But I have two things tonight. The first one is the Alexander Park rules for the splash pad park. I made some changes today per the meeting, the park board meeting that was last evening. And then I also spoke with Pete and we added a couple other line items such as the overnight parking is prohibited, just to kind of eliminate parking from the bar, hopefully. Also added the trash barrels and to please use them. I think that's about it.
And that's going to be added to this list?
They are on
Or
there.
oh, it is on there.
Yeah,
I see it, I
this
see
is
it.
the version
Yeah,
that got
this is-
changed from park board and
Yep.
Pete and Molly's visit, they went to
Yep.
the
This
other
is
parks
the-
to look at the rules that are
Yeah.
still there.
I see
So
it.
this would be the most current.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and I also added the very top line that park hours are 8 to 10, just because that's when they're planning on having the bathroom doors unlocked and
Oh, okay.
locked. And then the other park signs had that park hours do not apply to people in use of public access and fishing piers, and I thought that made sense for this one too. So,
Okay,
and if anybody is not aware, it's going on a bronze plaque, so we want to kind of make sure it's the way we want it before it
yeah.
gets melted into metal, so.
Okay, I'll read a recommendation then. To approve the proposed rules for the use of Alexander Park. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes a motion, how about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it? Any discussion on that? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Okay.
Now you can put it in bronze.
Perfect, thank you. And then we just had one more question. We were wondering, since the park is almost complete and the splash pad is up and running, we just don't have it turned on for public yet. We were wondering with the heat coming up and the week and a half before school starts, if we could possibly open it up to the public for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
Are we seeding that other area?
So
And how's the playground?
The playground is, they will be putting the mulch in it tomorrow.
Okay.
The seating area would be to the east of
Okay.
that, but everything else is sodded. So around the playground and around the splash pad.
Been sodded for how long?
What's that?
How long has it been in there? I'm trying to think of how many weeks it's been in there.
The sod has been in, I think it's almost a month.
Glad
And
about that.
it's taken, it's not loose anymore.
Right.
But Molly, around that playground though, isn't there more sod going in there next week?
Yes, you're right. On the east side of the playground, there's a the small strip there before you get to the walkway, but we could always rope that off too, just.
I know in the excitement of it all, I would really, really love to, but I don't know if I want to get any damage to any of the other areas that aren't complete. I don't know what anyone else's opinion is.
I guess I would leave it up to John and his expertise as to, I'm assuming the chief doesn't have an issue with being open. You know, if John and his crew think it's okay that
Yeah.
the damage would be minimal or not, if they roped it off, then I'd be okay with it.
I would be okay with it.
He's not on, is he?
No.
No.
I did mention it to him today. He didn't say anything, but that's not to say he doesn't disagree.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would agree, like, what's run by John and them, to see what John and Pete, public works people and parks people and. you know, if
Yeah,
you're- if you're-
I'm okay with opening it up.
I'm just afraid if you're laying sod next week, you know, that sod's gotta be there a couple of weeks, so I mean, but let's just let it up to John and let those guys decide.
Yeah.
I just think that if it's going to be hot and it's going to be busy, it's going to be hard to keep people out of those areas, so.
But I think
Yes.
if we roll things off properly, I mean, this entire community, Richmond and Rockville included, they have been waiting for this. We've got to get this thing open for a little bit, and especially with the type of weather we're having. I would be all in favor, you know, forget John at this point. I think we're the people that need to make this decision. And I believe we need to get it open, rope it off appropriately so we protect things. And you know what? If we damage a little bit of sod, so what? We'll fix it up. But let's get this bugger open.
I'm with Gary on this one. I agree. Let's open it up.
Open it up.
We could put no pets, we'll put a lot of no temporary signs that say no pets, put the rules out. 'cause they
Yeah.
won't be
I can
bronze.
make you some temporary signs for that,
So that everyone knows
Yeah.
that it's just,
unless you have them, but otherwise I could post some that say no pets.
I'll check.
Because, yeah, the bronze won't obviously be done by then, so.
Yep. I'll see what we can work on that.
Yeah.
So a motion to open the splash
Well, I'll make
pad.
the motion that we open up the splash pad, that we appropriately rope off what we need to rope off, and let it fly.
I'll second the motion.
Gary makes the motion, Jamie seconds to open it up. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Open it up.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute Dan.
Are you done now?
I think you're done now, yeah, you're
Guys,
You want to leave? Go ahead.
good. You're good.
I do have another meeting to go to.
No, you're fine, you're good, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can hear you, Dan. Hold on a sec.
Okay, number 8, fire department report. Chief Weber.
There, Dan?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dan.
Should I just read off what you got on the agenda there?
Sure.
I can read it. Request to enter into a purchase agreement for the 2021 Pierce Enforcer puck pumper from McQueen Emergency. Recommendation to approve entering into a purchase agreement with McQueen Emergency for the purchase of a 2021 Pierce Enforcer puck pumper fire truck. You guys, I believe you all seen the amount and then what all the different pages of all the different things that are on the truck. Once we get going with the purchase agreement, then we can at least get the chassis going and go from there on it. Anybody have any questions on that at all?
Anybody got anything?
Hey, Dan, what is the time frame for delivery?
10 months.
I can't hear anybody.
He said, what's the time frame for delivery?
I believe right now it's 11 months. It's out,
Okay,
10 to 11 months.
so it'll be like next July you'll get it.
there's any questions, Bridget, I can't hear anybody talk, so you'll have to
Oh,
repeat.
hold on, I think my speaker's on, my mic's on. It's, next July is your anticipated date, Ben? July or August?
Somewhere in there, hopefully, yep.
All right. Well, then, I'll read that recommendation again. To approve entering into a purchase agreement with McQueen Emergency for the purchase of a 2021 Pearson Forcer PUC pumper fire truck. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. You said aye?
Yes.
You didn't abstain, okay, because you're on the fire department. I was wondering. I was kind of just wondering if you're going to do that. Okay. Anything else,
Can't
Dan?
hear anything, Bridget.
They approved that, Dan. Do you have your update now?
Okay, yes, I do. As of today now, we've had 34 calls for the month of August. 3 structure fires, 1 with Rockville for mutual aid, and then we had a check fire last Thursday, I believe it was. And a few calls up at Assumption campus. I think it was now 4 for this month, so it's been pretty good up there. Total for the year is 304. We will be starting, we have 4 people going through first responder EMR initial class right now, and I have 6 of them that wanted to take the EMR bridge to EMT, which is kind of a shorter version. They don't have to do all 140 hours of class. They only got to do like 60. So there's 6 of more EMTs we'll have in our department when they're all done. Other than that, it's been a busy month already. I think we've had 7 calls in the last 3 days again. So. Any other questions for me at all?
Anybody got anything for Dan?
No.
Thank you very much, Dan.
They said thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you, guys. I'll stick around.
All right.
I'm gonna mute you, Dan.
Thank you.
Public Works Director is not here.
Correct.
So we'll go on to number 10 then. City Engineer Report. Brian Litchin. Brian.
Mr. Mayor and Council?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Brian.
All right, we'll start with County Road 158. Update on that, we're putting curb down on the remainder of the project tomorrow. So we're been notifying residents if they have to get out of driveways and such. And then paving, if we're lucky, we're looking at next week. So trying to get everything buttoned up, and when they do the paving, they're going to do everything from 9th all the way to 23. So also next week, we're looking at probably some of the pavement milling from 23 up to Tommy Kramer's. So get that all in one shot. So we'll be out on the west end, they'll be putting in both lifts of pavement. Anywhere where we had the road wide open, the plan is to go with 1 lift, let it settle out over the winter. If there's any issues, take care of it, and then pave it in the spring. Kind of our typical pattern. So we're also looking at next week or the following, starting to put in the black dirt in all the boulevards. I might have mentioned it before, we've left it out to this point because it's hot. Grass doesn't, we're not in good seeding times, so if we let,
be recorded. Sorry.
if we kind of waited and pushed it off just a little, we didn't have to maintain it for erosion because it was depressed, and then we can go in one shot, put in the topsoil, and seed it all at once. So
You're seeding it, not
we're seeding.
sodding?
Yeah, we tend to have, the sod kind of gets you a bright green lawn right away, but it takes a significant amount of maintenance, as I'm sure they've experienced in the park. It takes a lot of water, and if it doesn't get that maintenance, it gets bad in a hurry. Over the years, our experience is that seed it takes a little bit longer, but in the long run gives you a better product.
Okay.
So we do have a couple of folks along there that want to do some of their own things in there, and so we've been working with them we'll get it ready for them, and then one gentleman in particular wants to do sod and is willing to pay for it on his own. So we'll basically get it ready for him, and then he can sod it either this fall or in the spring.
All right.
Any other questions on Highway 158?
When are the rest of the sidewalks and driveways getting done?
So they'll get done, the curb will go in starting tomorrow, and then we'll pave the following week, and then during that time they'll be prepping that area, and then they'll come back and put the rest of the driveways and sidewalks after the pavement's in. All right, moving on, the water treatment plant, the plans are with the Minnesota Department of Health. So we got notified last week that ours came to the top of the stack. So we're actually being reviewed right now. So we have yet to hear anything back on that, but then whatever comes back from them we'll address, and getting our meeting set up with Public Works as well to go through their comments on the plans, make all those final revisions, and then bring it to council for your approval and bidding this fall. Wells 8 and 9, the pumps and control project, we had the pre-con for that. They're going to be getting going in early October. There's a number of long lead time items in there, especially related to the well pumps and the controls. So we had to get things moving to get those ordered. And then come October, they're going to put in the rest of the pipe, the road, and then everything else that goes with the metering vaults, everything that goes with the wells. The overhead power project, we bid that last week. I believe included in the packet, we had one bidder, Highline Construction from Paynesville, came in at $293,080. So it came under the engineer's estimate, it was about $300,000. So that's for the power service that goes back from Greystone Road, a couple thousand feet back to the wells. And that one is running high voltage, because otherwise the losses, it's so far away, the losses if we go after the transformer would be too great. We wouldn't have enough power. So what I would be looking for approval of that bid, and then they would also they're a separate contract, but I've talked with them and they're kind of in that October-November time frame. Even later, they don't mind working in the cold. So once we get our road in especially, they'll have a nice platform to work on, and he figures they can probably knock that out in a week. So there could be some long lead time items on that as well, mainly the transformers, but they can get everything else up, and then when they come in, they could go set the transformers.
All right, I'll read the recommendation then. To approve resolution number 2020-43, a resolution accepting bids and awarding a contract for the wells 8 and 9 overhead power to Highline Construction Company. I need a motion on that.
I'll make that motion.
Doug makes a motion, how about a second?
I'll second.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Moving on, the brewery and infrastructure, sanitary, lift station, water main, working on the design on that. Just getting the exact location and grades of the pipes through there. We have, it's an existing corridor, so there's a lot of things in the way, a lot of things to go, other pipes in the ground to go over and under, so we're weaving our way through that as we speak. The wastewater pretreatment, conceptual design, we're still cranking away on that. We've looked at some of the modeling of the existing plant, so one of the important pieces was taking, there's a computer model where we can put in all the parameters of our existing wastewater plant, and then kind of tweak that model to get it to act like the plant actually does, comparing it to the real world results we know we get. And what that lets us do then is when we come with the pretreatment, we can say, well, we're going to load this a lot heavier. What does that do to our existing plant? Do we have capacity? Don't we? Are there weak points? So we've worked our way through that model. Next week, we're sitting down with Public Works to go through that, talk about the results, and then how we go forward with that. So working through that conceptual design as well as wrapping up the final parts of the proposal for the remainder of the overall pre-treatment design. So hopefully be coming with that to the next meeting.
Okay.
And then, as Craig mentioned, cranking away on Blue Heron Heights 4, just laying out, just talked with the designer today, we were laying out house pad elevations and looking at how the grading works out. Kind of have the utilities laid in there already, and so just cranking away on that.
All right. Nothing else?
That's it.
All right. Sounds like you got a lot to do.
Busy guy.
Anybody got questions for Brian?
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll go on to number 11, Police Department report. Chief Blue.
There we go. District Mayor, Council, good evening. All right, start off with just some monthly reports for July. In Cold Spring, we had 340 total incidents. For the month, 31 medical emergencies, 18 suspicious activities, 101 traffic stops with 27 citations, and then 190 miscellaneous calls for service. For Richmond, we had 114 total incidents, 4 medical emergencies, 7 suspicious activities with 33 traffic stops that had 6 citations, and then 70 miscellaneous calls for service. So getting hopefully back to normal at some point yet this year, but we'll see. Next is, so over the last couple of years we've been replacing our duty firearms, our duty pistols. We've had a couple, we traded some in initially, I think it was back in 2014. We traded in half of those. Now we've replaced the rest to where we can trade in the remaining ones that have been sitting on the shelf. So just looking for approval to do that. What we did was we got trade-in value from a local dealer. So we'll either, if the officers that carried them while on duty, if they want to purchase them for that price, they can purchase them from the city for that price. Otherwise, the remainders will just go to the dealer, so we're not selling any firearms to the public or anything like that to deal with that hassle.
All right. I'll read the recommendation. To approve Resolution 2020-45, a resolution declaring 5 pistols as surplus property and allowing the chief of police to sell as provided by law. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Shannon makes a motion on that. How about a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you. Then the something we dealt with a lot last fall into the winter, the save stations. We currently have, I believe, 5 total between Cold Spring and Richmond, or maybe 6, that need to still be installed. Looking for approval on 2 of those. One would be in North Point at the park. With that one, I think there's an agreement with something to do with the electricity for the water or something along those lines. So there's I think it's a little additional cost there to have that for the electricity up there. And then the second one would be at the Cold Spring Ballpark next to the Granite, Minnesota statue plaque by the old entrance, I think it was now. But just wanted, the one at the ballpark was from the Fire Relief Association here in town. The one that's going up in North Point, I think some funds got shifted around from what was supposed to go to the splash pad, so I'd have to double check on who exactly those donations came from. I think it was actually the Cold Spring Richmond Police Foundation donated the money which was supposed to go to the splash pad, but since that's pushed back now, just move some funds around and put it up there and then put it at the splash pad when it's completed. So just since it's on city property, just looking for approval to get those put in.
All right. Recommendation to approve the placement of 2 save stations on city property, specifically one at North Point Park with a $60 a year electric fee for the park, and one at the Cold Spring Baseball Park. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Doug makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Perfect, so yeah, with that, then there's only one to be put at the splash pad yet when we're done. The ones that have already are installed are at the front of the fire hall, 3rd Street Brew House, Rocori High School, Speedway, and then the Rocori DEF building. And also wanted to say thank you to Faber Electric, who did all the installation on those for just donated to the cause. So very nice of him to help along the project along. That's all I have, unless you guys have questions for me.
You got anything for Jason? Please, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go on to number 12, City Administrator Report.
Thank you. The first item on there is the fire hall, with potential to include the police department. The RFP had always been the two joints, so I don't know how. I suppose once the architects decided, then you can make that decision on is it going to be a combined unit or a standalone. But for now, after that meeting on Wednesday last week, I did put on here for the selection of the architect from the group that had submitted and were interviewed.
All right, recommendation to approve the selection of blank as the architect for the design of the fire hall with possibility of police department addition. I need a motion and a name.
I'll make a motion to approve that with 5 Bugles being the architect.
Okay, Gary makes a motion with 5 Bugles. I need a second.
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
I believe earlier this spring, Tom Kramer was here to discuss the remaining outstanding pledges and having the Cold Spring Granite and the City of Cold Spring loan them an agreement. So this is the drafted. I have had it reviewed by George Sepp at Cold Spring Granite and Tom Kramer, and they were all in agreement with it. What we did is we broke it out with the numbers that are in there are for this year, what's been collected since Monday of last week. So that's what's remaining for this year, and then each year is how much is pledged through the end of 2023. Started in 16 or 17 when the splash pad started, and the pledges kind of rolled. Some were 5 years, some were 3, so it takes, the final pledges go out till 2023. And so I just need an approval for that agreement.
Okay, recommendation to approve entering into a loan agreement with Cold Spring and River Park Foundation for a loan for outstanding pledge contributions to Alexander Park. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second that.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it?
I have a question relative to the recommendation. I may not be reading this right, but shouldn't it have in their loan agreement with Cold Spring, the City of Cold Spring, and River Park Foundation? Because above it talks about loan
Right.
agreement between Cold Spring, City of Cold Spring, and River Park Foundation.
Well, you're approving, yeah, I think it's okay the way it is because you're approving for us to sign the agreement with those two. We could add that, for clarity, yes, we can add that.
Okay, but approve entering into a loan agreement with.
We're entering a loan agreement with
Okay, I
Cold Spring.
understand. Okay, I understand it now. Okay, not a problem.
That's all right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Anything else?
Nothing other than down at the bottom, just so you all remember, September 3rd is the budget meeting starting at 8 a.m. And so I just want to make sure you all have that on your calendar. We will be sending you out the documents tomorrow.
Okay.
Yay.
So you have a good week to look at them. And if you have any thoughts, there are some things on there that could potentially also be CARES Act funding. So we'll discuss those
Okay.
at the budget meeting itself.
All right. Then we'll move on to number 13. List of bills and additions. Recommendation to review and accept payment of accounts payable according to the list and supplemental list presented by city staff. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie makes a motion. Doug makes a motion.
I'll second.
Jamie seconds that. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. General questions and comments from city council. Jamie,
Nothing from me, sir.
Doug,
Nothing.
Nothing
Shannon,
today.
Gary, and I have nothing. Number 15, next scheduled city council meeting, September 8th.
September 3rd.
September 3rd is the next, yes,
Budget.
budget meeting, and then September 8th is the next regular meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Shannon makes a motion, how about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you very